Hello and welcome to this episode where we are doing the Gibb River Road, which is located between Derby and Kununurra. It's approximately a 2,000 drive from our home to get there, so that will take a couple of days. And we have about 5.5 weeks off from work and are looking to spend about 3 weeks exploring along this 670 to 700 kilometre dirt and corrugated road. You do have to plan your time along there, as you can only go in the dry season. And there are lots of places that are quite booked, as it's become almost a rite of passage for those who are travelling around Australia. Facilities are limited along the way, so you do need to forward plan to get the most out of it. Let's see what we got up to. We've broken it down into 3 sections because there's just so much gorgeous scenery to share. So we've got a couple of days and we head up through Pilbara. There's a mixture of bitumen roads and then of course gravel roads. Did manage to stop and see a couple of things along the way, mostly for lunch and for dinner, until this happened. Yep, we got a flat tyre before we even got up to Broome. So I'm not quite sure why Pete decided that we had to do it the hard way, in that we didn't use our U-View $10,000 crane that we'd installed on the roof. Instead, he insisted that we sort of had to do it the hard way and hefted up the side of the truck, which made us a little bit dirty by the end of the day. But yes, we did get the job done, but it did take a little bit longer than expected. So of course we had to wait out 2 nights. One night we decided to wait at 80 Mile Beach because that was relatively close to where we were. Beautiful long stretch of beach which we couldn't really fully explore because we were only overnighting. It did feel a little bit like we were in a caravan and camping show. It was that busy. However, we did have to push on and get up towards Broome and overnight there on the Sunday so that we could then head in to find a tyre place. Broome was great because we could whiz around shopping for some fresh food supplies while we waited for a new tyre to be fitted and put on the truck. And then we headed back out towards Derby, where our first port of call, now we're on the tourist trail, was the Boab prison tree that's situated just before the start of the Gibb River Road. So the Boab prison tree is believed to be about 1,500 years old and has a circumference of about 14 metres. It holds cultural significance for the local Indigenous people and also the pastoralists in the area. And then we finally get to the start of the Gibb River Road, where all the roads are open, including the one up to Columbaroo, which we hadn't really looked at, and it was super exciting to be finally on our way and find our first free campsite for the night. Welcome to Deemaluru National Park, otherwise known as Tunnel Creek. This is a 750 metre long natural cave that's found in the Napier Range, and it was formed by a creek and it's part of an ancient reef system. Now you can actually go inside the cave, though you do need to make sure you've got a torch, some bathers And you'll also be most likely joined by lots of other people. The car park was absolutely full. This place was a famous hiding spot for an Aboriginal by the name of Jandamara, who hid in here to escape from police.
Walking around. You reckon it's muddy? Yeah, I'm not going that way. It's a bit chilly. Chasing heat, following my...
I'm guessing that's cold.
Refreshing might be another word. Oh, it is cold. Just see you up there. Woo! Woo! It is swimming now. What? In the crack?
Straight over there, on the edge.
I can see Jack sheep. What?
Red eyes.
No, I don't know.
Right over there.
No, I can't.
At the edge, on the edge of the water, underneath the bloody rocks, there's two sets of eyes.
Nah. At the end here, aren't we? Or... I feel like the blind leading the blind because my torch is absolutely useless. Oh, these big roots coming down. Do you reckon? Like Tarzan swings, don't they? Time to head back. That ledge is not too bad yet, it's quite high. This way was alright.
Our first view of Windjana Gorge in the late afternoon, which is where we're having our campsite for about 2 nights. Late afternoon gives you time to just sort of listen to the birds, watch the water, see if you can see any crocodiles. There's also a lot of people watching the light as it reflects on the rock as the sun goes down. Beautiful. It's not an overly long walk into Windjana Gorge, which is why it's one of the more popular ones, as it's also really accessible from Broome and Derby. Just a little bit of a sandbar at the very end. Thankfully no crocodiles there that day. All in all, a good couple of days there, but that's really all that we really needed. And as we came back onto the Gibb River Road, we soon found ourselves in the midst of the shitbox car rally, where there's vehicles that are worth under $1,000 racing to go from Derby all the way up to Darwin, and we were stuck in the middle of the racetrack. So there were travellers lined up at vantage points, waving, cheering them on, and they'd be stopping in at a couple of homesteads to raise money. But we decided that to get ourselves out of the chaos, we would turn off towards Mount Hart Homestead and see what was up that track. What a lovely treat Mount Hart Homestead turned out to be. There was grass that we could just sort of chill out on, lovely river just flowing nearby, not too busy, so it was a real lovely place to rest up for a couple of days. What's it like? You're bullshitting me. How come you're taking deep breaths then? How come you're taking a few deep breaths and getting out? The homestead has a restaurant, bar, beautiful fire pit that you can go and relax and enjoy around. There's a little shuttle bus that will take you there, even if we did try and walk down the track that was a little bit dark, but we caught the bus back after we had a couple of drinks. Nice and relaxing, glad we're only paying the camping fees. One little day trip which didn't actually take too long was a 5-kilometre drive up to Matthew Gorge, which is actually a dolerite gorge, and it's distinguishable by all the black rocks that are actually forming it. You did notice them coming in the Mount Hart Road, but it is one of the more unusual gorges. Walking Matthew Gorge, and there's tiny little flowers on the lilies. Just beautiful. Dolerite rock. Now this is one spiky plant. Just see the little spines on there, but here's all along the edges here. So do another one there. Do need to be careful when walking. This here is us trying to get a photo of a beautiful little kingfish that we spied just up on one of the branches there. Not easy being in a noisy truck, but we actually got a decent one from the phone. As you can see, these wilderness lodges cater for all types of camping, glamping, or bring it yourself, vehicle, camper trailer, whatever you like. And as we were heading out, we stopped by Barker Pool for a little bit of a refreshing dip. Refreshing being the optimum word, because all the water there is freezing.
Someone since yesterday has lost their self-contained thing, so I'm going to just move it out of the way. So that's a bit of a, oh, it's quite heavy. We've got shit in it. Oh God, why did I decide to do this? And their mud flap, I'll come back and get this. A lot of mud flowing into here. I lost quite a bit. I'll just wait for it to swim here, and my feet are going to get muddy. Oh, come here.
The majority of the Gibb River Road is actually unsealed, but you do find that when there's a rise and a fall over a ridge, that has actually been sealed, just to allow trucks that pass frequently an ease of access.
Overlooking Windy Ranges over there. Nestled in Silent Grove, we have the campground here, lovely and shady. Our little place at Silent Grove next to the boab tree. Kangaroo with baby Joey. Information about Bell Creek, looking at plants. Hopefully we see some lovely birds.
Yeah.
The rocky so-called steep descent to Bell Gorge. Pete's in his hiking thongs. What do you reckon they are?
Don't know. They really look like cat prints, but they could be. There's apparently bandicoots and quolls around.
Oh, okay.
Sort of see the drag mark of the tail.
Oh yeah, it's a lizard one with the 3-prong
Yeah.
top of the waterfall. As I slip down the slope. So this is the top of the waterfalls that you have to cross. I'm going to try and go down the bottom so I can look up at the waterfalls. Pete's heading back. Got to walk across the top. A few little deep pools in there. How are you going? It is a little bit windy here. And at the bottom of Bell's Gorge, you've got another little waterfall here, which looks like it just opens up into a nice little river system down there. So back at the car park where we were the only vehicle, there's now 20 vehicles plus and more coming in, and a bus. But nice toilets. Nice toilets. To Adcock Gorge. Oh, look, and there's a pretty little kingfisher just came out. Yeah. Rock scramble to get here. A few shoes behind, so this must be where you swim. Little baby fish in there. That's one way to get in. You're right. Galvin's Gorge. Pretty with the boab at the top there. Mount Barnett Roadhouse is a good spot to refuel and drop off your rubbish because they've left a nice little trailer there for you, and it's also the starting point of heading out to see Manning Gorge. First little creek crossing to Manning Gorge. I'm going to make you swim this 3 times, Pete. Go, come on, get in there. It's only fresh. Big rock pile. We have different species of mullama. I thought they were like they look very similar to a flat leaf wattle, but they don't have the
pea flower, really.
But they're a pea flower. They're similar leaf as the flat leaf wattle. Walking down these rocks. Looks like there's some nice jumping off ledges there. And then come round the corner and have a look at that. How awesome. Is that with a load of people here, but that's okay. Beautiful. Nearly there. It's fucking choppy. I'm getting there. I'm looking for the rock ledge. As long as we're being drifted to the left. Oh my god, there's a current there. Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh shit! Fun? Pretty amazing, huh? So what's our plan of attack now?
I don't know. We're going to swim around there and maybe jump off that rock.
Oh, well, I can video you jumping off. How about I stay here and then I'll float back with you?
I think the battery's just about gone in it. It's red. The battery's red.
That's right. We have a gate to welcome us to Mount Elizabeth. here is Mount Elizabeth Station, where they have a communal campfire at night, the bull bar, camping area, free range as they say, pleasant garden, coffee machine, pizza oven, lots of information.
Our plan was to go out on the Windjana Gorge trail, which is a 4-wheel drive track. Only 10 kilometres, but we were warned it would take us nearly an hour to get there.
Follow the white dots. Pleasant walking along flats. Yeah, we're about to walk off a cliff and discover what's over the edge there. The ladders are straight in front of you. Gonna go down the ladders, watch your step with a bit of water. Gonna say this is easier over here, but you go that way.
A little further downstream, you'll come across some Aboriginal artwork, some of the best I've actually ever seen. On the left-hand side, they are Windjana cloud and rain spirits, and you'll even come across also some of the animals that they've painted on the walls. Well, you know what? A rough road going in always means that there's going to be an equally rough road heading back out. this morning. Bit slippery. Nothing like going out with slippery dip. What we didn't realise was the toll the road took on our truck. We lost a wheel nut on the back wheel, and also that big tree branch went right into one of our windows and smashed the perspex. The only reason why I managed to get a photo of the perspex was the fact that I went and walked 10 kilometres to try and find the wheel nut again, because there was